Oh man, like, I don't even know where to start.
Creative inspiration can come from anywhere. Maybe it comes from a breathtaking landscape from your favorite creator, closing your eyes and listening to the world speak around you, listening to your favorite song for the 1000th time, or something as simple as reading a book. For me, my creative inspiration has had their influence in my life far before I ever touched a camera.
You know, growing up, it was, yeah, it was crazy. I would say that I didn't have a super conventional life growing up. You know, my biological father abandoned my mom and I when I was less than a year old. And ever since then, my mom and I have essentially been inseparable. My mom was my best friend. And for as long as I can remember, growing up, I would go and sit in the restaurants that she lived in, and I would sit at the counter, and most of the time my feet wouldn't hit the ground, and she would always, you know, give me whatever I wanted to eat and, you know, comp my meals for me, or she would pay for it herself. And I didn't quite understand the level of drive and motivation as well as creativity that she experienced in my younger years, because of course I was just a kid. But it was crazy, you know, thinking back on it now with the struggles of my life and you know, bills and how am I going to make my next paycheck, and doing what I'm doing, you know, as a professional videographer and photographer. It's been crazy to think of doing this with a kid, you know. And one of the things my mom said on this road trip that we just went on was, you know, I had to get creative when you were younger, son. And I was like, okay, tell me more. So she was like, well, that's why I went to the beach so much. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the beach, but it was always something that I loved doing. And come to find out that one of the main reasons why we did it is because it was free. I mean, essentially we just needed the time and the gas to get there. And we would, you know, go and we'd be there at sunrise, and then we would come out and you know, we'd look for shark's teeth and go skimboarding and surfing and swimming. And, you know, it was just the best time, you know, like getting to spend time with my mom. And how supportive she was growing up to me, and you know, always being so encouraging with everything that I did in my life, and how selfless she was, and how amazing of a parent that she is. You know, I wish so badly that I'm as successful as I want to be, not just for myself, but for my mom. Because she inspires me every single day, even though that she's not here, you know, physically with me in the same state or in the same city or anything like that. It's just, you know, how motivated she was and driven in the lessons pertaining to life that she's instilled with me. Just never, ever, 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 ever give up on the things that you want to do in life, because no matter what you do or what you want to do with your life, it is very achievable, it is very attainable. And my mom has always motivated me and inspired me creatively to literally do whatever I wanted to, whether that's playing, you know, basketball overseas, being a music artist and touring and cutting a couple albums. And now it's like we sit around and talk about me pushing buttons on a camera, and it's everything I do in life is to make my mom proud. And I go to a different place creatively, thinking about all the things that she had to do to make sure that I got what I needed growing up. That when I put something out there, a piece of art or a video or photographs, and I tell a story, I want the stories that I tell to come from a different place. And I always just think of my mom and how she raised me and the woman that she was. And years later, we sit and talk about things that, you know, that she had to do growing up, and she just approaches things so differently and thinks of things the way that I am incapable of thinking, because I didn't raise a child. I didn't have to get creative on that level. And, you know, she's everything.